Good evening, everybody. I've made the camera a little bit too close again, haven't I? Let's Fish Owl's here, Gemma Green's here. I'm just sorting out this camera. Gemma Hep's here. Gemma Hep, how are you, Gemma Hep? People should follow Gemma Hep if you're on this Periscope. Gemma's a TV presenter. Did a great interview with me on That's Manchester not too long ago. Gemma, I hope you are well. Political 3211's here. Hello to you. Good evening. I've just got a coffee, guys. That's basically, I had a coffee. I've got a protein bar here. Dee's here, and I'll just wait for people to join, and we'll have a little chat. I love these Periscopes. I said last night, this is like, please come back on my show, Ross. Yes, Gemma, I would love to, but drop me a Facebook message and I'll come back on. We're talking a little bit about kind of like what I'm talking about tonight as well. I started doing these scopes, people. For those who don't know me, my name is Ross. I'm an actor from Manchester. Hello, Keybat. And I'm a voiceover artist as well, and I am massive on mindset and coaching people on mindset and success, what makes people great, positivity, motivation. It's all kind of science backed though, not woo-woo nonsense. Hi from Saudi Arabia, Jeddah City. Wow, that's crazy. Sasha's here as well. Sasha, good evening to you. Good to see you. I will definitely answer your interview questions, Sasha, for your blog. I think I might have lost them in my email, so please email me them again, and I will sort that out. I want to see Christine Dalby. Christine, are you here? While we're waiting for Christine, Sasha says hey. For those of you who are new to Periscope as well, the way this kind of works is you can show your appreciation by tapping the screen, giving me some hearts. That always makes me feel good. That's great. Nina's here. Hello, Nina. Good evening to you. If you like anything that I'm saying on these scopes tonight, we're gonna look at some really cool strategies to deal with nerves and deal with fear, getting over our fears. A lot of people who are joining me on the scope, back again, says Laura. It's becoming a little habit, isn't it? We all just get together at 10 o'clock on a well, not even a weekday weekend. It's just every night, isn't it? Yeah, baby, says Christine. She's here. So Christine came up with a topic for tonight's chat, and she said in the Facebook group, if you're not a member of the Bulletproof Actor Facebook group and you're an actor, if you're not an actor, by the way, still stay on this scope, because we talk about loads of stuff that applies to everybody's life. It just applies to people in general. It's not all about acting. These are kind of life skills that you could put into any part of your life. If you're a plumber or a carpenter or a racing driver or an astronaut, whatever you are, all these things apply. If you are an actor, however, get yourself over to the Facebook group that we've got going. It's called it's Bulletproof Actor, the Facebook group, but it's a hidden group, so you can't find it. You need to go to facebook.com/groups/Bulletproof Actor. I auditioned at Bev Keogh today, Ross. Gemma Hep, what did you audition for? Hi, California. Here I am, happy we are speaking fears. Yes, Callie. This is quite LA, isn't it? Whereabouts in California are you? I'm visiting California, well, LA for the first time in November this year. Let us know. So we're talking, initially we're going to talk about nerves at auditions for actors, but this, as I say, guys, if you're not an actor, you can apply this to any other kind of part of the A Word new BBC series. Nice, hope you get it. Keep us posted. But yeah, Christine, who's on the Periscope, wanted to know how she can kind of handle her nerves when she's going to an audition, so that she kind of delivers on what she hopes she can deliver on, as opposed to kind of having it in her mind what she wants, getting there, nerves taking over, and then not kind of doing herself justice. Now people are giving me kind of topics. I've started even preparing notes and stuff, guys. This is how serious this is getting. So initially, I'm just going to go through some things that I have found that other kind of success coaches and thought leaders have taught me over the years, mentors of mine, things that I have found helpful. And then we're going to look at fear in general, and how you can, 3 exercises that how you can kind of look at fear in general in your life and nail it so that you own it, and it doesn't, it serves you as opposed to you serving it. Because you can use fear for good. Okay, fear isn't always a bad thing. There is a lot of positive things that you can actually you can use fear for. If you own it though, and it doesn't own you. So we said last night, Christine, on last night's scope, we were talking about, well, I mentioned that there's a fear is fuel. Exactly. I mentioned that there's a phrase that everybody uses in life, which is practice makes perfect. And I don't think practice makes perfect, because people can practice badly. Okay, I think perfect practice makes perfect. Although I don't massively like the word perfect, because what's one person's perfect isn't necessarily perfect for somebody else. But for me, going to an audition and absolutely nailing it, I will, first of all, obviously, make sure that I am, practicing as perfectly as I possibly can. So I'm practicing at home exactly how I'm going to deliver it when I'm in the room. I'm not practicing at home without saying the words out loud. It amazes me, guys, how many people, because I sit in casting sometimes and I read in. I'm doing it tomorrow for the new series of Scott and Bailey on ITV. That's casting at the moment. I'm going to read in opposite the people auditioning for it. And it amazes me how many people come into the room and I'll sometimes say in reception, "Oh, do you want to run the lines with me before we go in?" Hello to you, Use. Not quite sure what your first name is, if that is your first name, or just your username. But it amazes me how many people come in when I said, "Do you want to run the lines in reception?" They go, "Oh God, that'd be great," because I haven't done it out loud yet. And they're practicing at home in their heads. Or they might be running the lines in their head. So it's almost like the first time that they say those words for real in an audition, it surprises them how they sound, because they've never done it before. I work in voiceover a lot, and people do this when the engineer says, "Right, can I take a line for level?" Then the voiceover artist, if I'm training some voiceover students, will start speaking a line, and then the engineer will set the level of the microphone to how they say it. And then when he goes, "Right, we're going for a take," they suddenly up their volume and do it completely differently, because the first time that they did it wasn't how they intended they were going to do it for real. So I think at home we rehearse sometimes, kind of almost on that lower level, expecting to go into an audition, pump it up, and then suddenly we're kind of deafened by it, and we go, "Oh my God, I didn't expect it to sound like that." Where are you from? I'm from Manchester in the UK. Where are you from? Let us know. So Sasha says she says all the lines all over my house. Yeah, I use my shower time best, because it's part of the day where I have complete, I'm completely on my own. I turn the shower on, it's nice and loud. If the neighbours could hear me, they think I was a nutter. He's talking to himself in the shower there. But I use that time to run my lines properly for real. I had an audition last week for the part of a newsreader in a new series, a new BBC series, and it was quite specific language. If I was a newsreader for real, I would have been reading it off auto cue, so I wouldn't be making any stumbles. I'm from Istanbul, Turkey. Big up Istanbul. Sasha says she uses the bathroom mirror as well, which in the bath is good. But if I was doing this newsreader part for real, I have an auto cue, so I couldn't stumble on it. So I knew I needed to say those lines perfectly when I got into that casting, and I couldn't stumble, because if I was doing it in real life, the words would be in front of me. So generally, Gemma will know this because she's a TV presenter, you don't normally fall over your words. When you do a little bit, but when you've got them in front of you, you don't normally forget them. So I was like, I've got to nail it. I've got to do this at home as if I was reading an auto cue. I've got to get that cadence, that kind of rhythm that a newsreader uses. And I'm going to practice this perfectly, what is perfect for me, so that makes perfect. I auditioned for that too. Didn't get it, but fun to do. I didn't get it either, I don't think, Gemma. I think it went to an Asian lady who was there when I was there. I can't be sure of that, but that's what I'm hearing on the grapevine. So at least I was like, well, I've been beaten by a woman. I couldn't possibly give them a woman if that's what they wanted. How old are you? I'm 33. I'm 33, Use from Turkey. So I went in and I was like, right, I've got to absolutely practice this perfectly, so that when I go in, this is what I'm going to give them. And that is what I gave them. It wasn't the only strategy I used though. So I've got number 2 on the list here. Visualize yourself succeeding. Okay, so we did a little thing last night on visualization, a little exercise. If you missed that Periscope, you go to actonthis.tv and click on Periscope, and you can watch last night's exercise. And that was basically to enable people to take action. We did this thing where you put your arm out, and then you go around, and then you visualize yourself going further, and then the next time you do it, you can actually go a lot further, because you visualize it, you've seen it in your mind, you feel it in your body, it embodies you, it fills you up. That's what you are seeing. If you visualize yourself, succeeding and delivering that audition so well, you're actually kind of like pre-programming your mind to deliver that. That's going to change your physical state. It's going to change the way you walk into that room, because your body is, how are you going to hold yourself when you feel that you're going to deliver something great? You're going to hold yourself a lot differently, aren't you? You're going to walk into that room with more certainty. You're going to walk in more upright, more confident. Whereas if you're visualizing in your mind the things that could go wrong, as in going, oh, I could forget my lines. Oh, I would say something wrong. I might embarrass myself. Oh, do I look right? Is my hair okay? Have I wore the right costume? if you're focusing on all that stuff, all the variables that you're thinking could go wrong, you're probably going to do that. Okay, you're probably going to just create that within the room. If you go in, visualizing that you've already done this audition, everything went well, and you're going to deliver. You did deliver. Do you speak Turkish? I don't speak Turkish, unfortunately. Just English. I do a bit of German and English. That's all I can speak. But yeah, visualization is really powerful. I know that sounds a little bit kind of out there, but visualizing just success in life in general can really really alter your state, your physical state, the way you carry yourself, the way you look, the way you're perceived by other people, and can really kind of help you with success on a really fundamental level. But it's something that's really simple to kind of implement in your life as well. Don't always expect the worst to happen. Just what might happen if everything went well, because there's a good chance that that's going to happen. Why? I don't know what the question was. Why do I speak German? Because I did A-level German about 15 years ago. So they're the things that I do in auditions. So yeah, perfect practice makes perfect. Visualize success, and the third thing really is just preparing, to feel ready. So in terms of, I look at the things I can control before I go in. I focus on those. So the things I can control is how much preparation I've done, what I wear, my appearance, how on time I am. I can generally control that. If I want to be in a relaxed state to go to an audition, I make sure I get there in plenty of time. I don't want to be running around panicking, thinking that I'm going to be late and I'm going to upset people. So focus on the things that you can control, and all the other stuff that you can't control, don't even think about it. Just forget about it. Okay, just get rid of it. So they're the things, Christine, for my auditions that I do. And since kind of adopting that a few years ago, I've had quite a lot more success at auditions. I've found that really, really kind of helped me, particularly the visualization stuff. I just go in feeling that I've already done it and that everything, has gone well. And generally it does, because they're not that scary. Everyone in that room at a casting wants you to do well. It's not just you who wants you to succeed. The casting director wants you to do well to look good in front of the director. The director wants you to do well to fulfill the role. So everyone's on your side, so don't forget that. So they're my 3 tips for that. What I want to talk about now, though, is just generally for everyone on the scope who's not an actor, strategies for fear to hold your nerves in general, okay? And I've got about 4 points here that I wrote down before that I want to talk about. The first one in general for fear, okay, and I want people to always remember this. A lot of people are scared of the future because of things that have happened in the past. Okay, good advice as always, Mr. G. Says Christine. Cheers, Christine. Glad you enjoyed it. If you like this, by the way, heart us up. Tap the screen. It takes about 90 seconds to give me 500 hearts if you double tap the screen like this. That's all you can give in a Periscope. So if you tap the screen like this for 90 seconds, I get all the hearts in it. It looks good. Keep hearting it up. Okay, so as I say, a lot of people are fearful of the future because of what's happened in the past, right? And I want to say that this is one of the things that I talk about in Bulletproof Actor, this upcoming mindset course I'm bringing out next month. And it's that the past, your past, guys, does not equal your future. Imagine driving your car just looking in the rear view mirror. You're gonna crash. Okay, you can't drive a car looking backwards. You can't drive your life looking backwards at the things that went wrong. Okay, you've got to look through the windscreen further down the road at what's in front of you. Okay, so your past, first of all, does not equal your future. If you had a dodgy audition last week, it does not mean that your next audition is going to be dodgy. Like I said last night, good actors will just take the feedback from that and see themselves as one step closer to a successful audition, not one step further away. Okay, so remember, your past does not equal your future. Now, 3 exercises for getting over fear that I want you to do. And you can think about this, you can write these down, you can rewatch this scope and write this down at another time. The first one, okay, when you're afraid of a situation, is find something else that you are more afraid of. Okay, to put things into perspective. So an audition, in the great scheme of things, is not scary at all. Which is team? Not sure what you mean, Use. Do you mean what team? Football team or something? I don't know. Or which is team? Explain a bit more. But yeah, find something else that you are more fearful of. So, for me, a lot of the time, if I'm scared to put myself in a situation, spiders, okay, spiders a good one. If I'm scared to put myself out there in a situation, okay, For instance, I mean, even little simple things, like when I started doing these scopes, I was like, well, what if no one, not football team, Manchester United, all the way, although I've got a blue top on. But for me, even like, you know, like about a week ago, I was like, I'm gonna do a Periscope every night, okay? But I've never kind of just talked without a script on camera before to people who can't talk back to me like in real time. You can obviously on text, but not you know, through normal means, you know, through your voice. What if people don't like it, or what if it doesn't go right, or you know, what if I can't do it, or I can't set it up technically, all this sort of stuff. My fear of missing out on creating something great was far more exceeded my fear of failing and it not going well. So my fear of missing out at auditions, in terms of going, well, what a great opportunity, and I don't want to miss out on that, I don't want to, you know, not kind of do myself justice, is way more apparent. It's a much bigger fear than the fear of me going in there and doing something wrong. Because ultimately, it doesn't matter. I've been in there and I've given it a shot. If I don't go in there, I can't ever score a goal because I'm not taking that shot. So find something that you're more afraid of, okay, and your desire to succeed and your fear of missing out needs to be far greater than your fear of it not going well. And that applies to every single thing in your life, not just acting. I mean, like everything. A relationship. Well, you know, I'm really scared to get in this relationship with this person, but I think they're great. Your fear of missing out on what could be like the love of your life and like the guy or girl you get married to needs to be far greater than your fear of getting hurt or your fear of you know, it going wrong. You know, I live by the sentiment of going, I would rather have like a bruised heart than a boxed heart. So in terms of, you know, I'd rather my heart, you know, in various aspects of my life was battered and bruised or broken, as opposed to putting it in a box, keeping it safe and never going out there and doing anything or exploring anything or, you know, trying to succeed. Great advice, says Gemma. Cheers. Aww, says Laura. It's but yeah, it applies to every area of my life. I mean, I'm only talking relationships, but everything, you know, don't box yourself off to stuff. Find a fear that's greater than that fear that you're currently feeling. Second thing is, this is the rocking chair test, okay? Tony Robbins told me this once. He's an amazing thought leader. If you don't know who Tony Robbins is, Google him. The guy's like one of the biggest legends in the world, one of the most inspirational men you'll ever meet in your life. And do you know about Fenerbahce? No, not massively. European. I'm not a huge football fan, I'm afraid, Use. I can't do football scopes, unfortunately. But yeah, the rocking chair test. Tony said this, okay, now this is basically where you visualising yourself when you're older, okay? Visualising yourself when you're like 80. If you're already 80, visualise yourself when you're 100, okay? And you're sat in your rocking chair and you're looking back on your life. And you are thinking of the things that you didn't do. It's quite a cliched, you know, saying, but, you know, you will regret far more in your life the things that you didn't do than the things that you do, okay? You really will, you know, regret those things way more. So he says, you know, imagine yourself, you're sat in your rocking chair a bit like this now, and you're looking back on your life, and, you know, would you regret not chasing that dream? Would you regret not going into that audition? You know, would you regret not trying to start your own business, you know, not going into that relationship, whatever it is, you know? And if you feel that you would, then you absolutely are doing the right thing by chasing it. If you actually go, you know what, and this might happen, it's happened for a couple of times in my life where I've been trying, you know, pursue stuff, and I've gone, well, you know what, if I look back at my life and I went, I didn't do this. Robin Van Persie, RVP, nice. Yeah, if I look back on my life and I didn't achieve this, would I be bothered? And there's been a few things in life where I've gone, well, you know what, no. I wouldn't be that fussed. At the time I thought it'd be cool to do, but now I'm not that, you know, I'm not really that bothered about it. So I'm going to drop it. And, you know, the things in my life where I've gone, I would be really disappointed if I didn't try and do that. I want to write a book, guys. I want to publish a book, multiple books, maybe. You know, that's something that's absolutely on my radar. If I look back at 80 years old and went, you know what, I didn't write a book on this kind of stuff that I'm talking to, you know, to people about tonight, that could impact the world, that could make, you know, make a dent in the world a little bit, you know, and actually put a record on this planet of me being here. I'd be gutted, because I think of all those people who are probably 80 now or older, you know, and are coming to the end of their life, who unfortunately haven't done the things that they maybe wanted to do. The graveyard is like the richest place in the world, guys. Think how many unpublished books, unpublished songs, poems, plays, films, scripts, how many of those go to the grave with people? You know, it's like the richest place in the world. I will be gutted to be in that position where I look back and go, I didn't give that a shot, or my fear stopped me. You know, that's why your fear for missing out needs to be bigger than the fear of failure. You know, so think about the things that you really kind of want to do, and imagine like you're on your deathbed or you're sat in that rocking chair, you know, and someone's looking down at you and going, Christine, Laura, you know, there was this amazing book inside of you, there's this amazing piece of acting inside of you, and only you could bring it to the table, and only you knew it existed, and now it's going to go with you. You'd just be like, oh my God, devastated. So yeah, that's like that rocking chair, you know, kind of test. Remember, you will regret far more. Christine's going, oh my God. You will regret far more in life the things that you don't do than the things that you do. So never let fear, you know, kind of interrupt that as well. Okay, so number one, find something that you're more fearful about than the thing that you're scared of. Number two, if you look back on your life at 18, you didn't do this thing, would you regret it? And if you do, it means it's a must, guys. This is the difference. This is what I want to say. It's a must and not a should. Okay, we have a lot of shoulds in our lives, and when things are shoulds in our lives, we don't do them. I hear a lot of people, I'm quite big on the gym, and I try and get my mates in to come at the gym. It's changed my life a lot. I run a lot, you know, I do a half marathon every Sunday. My fitness is really important to me, and it sets me up for a lot of other stuff in my life. That used to be a should and still is a should. Must do, exactly. It still is a should for a lot of people in my life. And they go, oh yeah, I should go to the gym. No, you know, when you change your shoulds into musts, that's when you start taking action. So don't keep saying, oh, I should do this, or, you know, I should get around to that. You must, and you must do it as soon as you possibly can. Third thing, and this is really important, this is like when you are feeling fear. I think Roosevelt said, fear, I think, is it him who quoted this? He said, fear, the only thing to fear is fear itself, right? Fear is physical. It manifests itself in our minds. Okay, so it's not tangible in terms of, the only place it does exist really is in our minds. But once it's in there, it becomes physical, and it manifests itself through our entire bodies. So we shake, we're afraid, we kind of shrink. You know, when you're scared, and you're dying, you're shrinking. Okay, you're not expanding. Which is when successful people expand, winners expand. What are your job? I'm an actor, I'm an actor and a voiceover artist, and I talk a lot about mindset, and I coach people on trying to get the most out of their life whilst they can. So yeah, fear becomes physical, it becomes very physical, and we feel it, and our bodies go into turmoil. We feel this turmoil within ourselves, and it's horrendous, it's really, really bad. The only way that you can kind of get yourself and snap yourself out of fear quickly, right away, is by changing your state, okay, changing your physical state. Feel the fear and do it anyway, worth the read. Yeah, I've heard of that book a lot, and I've never read it, but yeah, I will check that out on Amazon. Cheers, Christine. Ross, you'll be famous in Turkey now. Yeah, I hope so. That'd be amazing. But yeah, so fear is physical. So if you change your state, you can kind of get rid of it and you can kick it. Now, there's a couple of ways to do that. Sometimes I will, if I'm fearful about doing something, if I've got something big coming up tomorrow or something like that, and I'm afraid, I will do something very physical, like I will go on a long run, or I will go and lift weights in the gym, and I will put on really, really powerful music to do that too. That's not always possible if you're going to an audition. Obviously, you don't return to an audition sweating because you've just ran 3/4 of a mile to get there or whatever. But what you can do is you can change your state in really subtle ways. Okay, guys, if I sit like in the reception at a casting like this, and I'm kind of like, my head's kind of down, I feel uncertain. Okay, we need to feel when we're going into situations where we're fearful that we are certain that that things are going to go well. If I sort of put my shoulders back, sit up, breathe, I just feel a lot better instantly, physiologically. I'm putting my body into, more of a peak state that's going to make me feel more confident. And if you can't do this sitting down, just do it now. If you're sat down or if you're stood up, it's a subtle change. It's just from this to this, and I look so much more certain. I carry myself off much certain. I'm going to walk differently. I'm going to feel different. I'm going to talk differently. Music's a very powerful thing. One thing that I'll always do is I'll listen to some really uplifting music on the way to an audition, and that will change my physical state. And I'll try and listen to that music right up until the door when I go in, because then I'm not focusing necessarily on the ensuing fearful event or whatever, I'm just, you know, I'm still kind of uplifted. Music is a big part of my life. I don't know if it is for you, but I think for everybody it's a really powerful tool. I wouldn't say listen to it whilst you're in the reception before you go in. Maybe you might, but you know, you don't want to seem like you're a bit arrogant just in the corner with your headphones on. But definitely up until the door, I will keep my earphones in, and I'll listen to some really powerful, uplifting music. And that makes me even walk from the train station to the audition differently. It makes me, you know, it makes me just. Do you ever walk? Give me a yes and give me some hearts. If you ever put your iPod in, and you might be sat on a train or you're walking through town, and you pretend to yourself you're in a music video. Who does that? I do that a lot. Am I the only one who does that, or does everyone else do that as well? I'm seeing some hearts, so it's not only me. It's not only me who does it. I thought maybe I was a bit weird. I do it all the time though. I like, you know, and I kind of like, and sometimes I even pretend all the time. Oh, okay, great. Lisa does it. Excellent. Laura does it. Brilliant. So it's not just me though. But yeah, and sometimes I kind of like, you know, I'll even pretend that, you know, maybe I'm in a bit of a movie. I've got a dramatic song on, and there's someone following me. It's literally ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. But yeah, music is powerful in changing. What music empowers you? I do it in the car. Music empowers me, really. Oh God, I've got quite an eclectic mix, especially when I'm driving. Says Laura, awesome. I've got quite an eclectic mix in music. If I'm doing exercise, I will. I love things with a really powerful beat. You know what? I'm a massive like Michael Jackson fan. As soon as I hear Billie Jean, I hear that. I'm just like, oh my God! I'm just like, you know, I just walk. That makes me walk differently. But I just like what I've been listening to this week. That's pretty good. I have to get my Spotify playlist up, and I can't get it up on my computer at the moment. Well, Spotify is great. There's a thing on Spotify, if you've got the app on your phone, you can click on Browse on Spotify, and then you can go to Discover. And they do a weekly album of of music you might never heard before. And I always find some amazing tracks in there that I've never even heard of. It's called Discover. Yeah, go and browse and just Discover. Something like Weekly Discover or something like that. There's some awesome tracks. But I'll listen to music in the morning all the time. As soon as I get up, put some music on. If I'm on the train going in, I've got an early voiceover tomorrow at 9 o'clock. I'll be on the train with my earphones in, listening to music, getting myself kind of ready and changing that state. Because otherwise I sit on the train like this, like falling asleep. Just, you know, it's all warm in the morning, particularly coming up to winter. And it's lovely and snug on the train or something like that. You just want to kind of curl up and fall asleep. Music will start you from doing that, and it'll get you out of that uncertain state into a certain state so that you're ready to deliver. So yeah, check it out. There's a lot of playlists on Spotlight. Particularly, it changes through the day when you go on Browse and Spotify. Got acting on the brain. There's a lot of. Do you like listen to music all the time? That's what I'm talking about, pal. All the time. I love it. I might listen to some Turkish music. See what that's like. But that's it, guys, for me. So yeah, to recap, you know, so your past does not equal your future. If you've been scared of things in the past, don't let that affect what's happening in the future. Okay. Remember that car analogy. You can't drive a car looking in the rearview mirror, only looking in the rearview mirror, because you're going to crash. Okay, so remember, you've got to look ahead, and your past does not equal your future. Those 3 exercises for getting over fear. Find a fear that is greater than the fear you are currently experiencing. For me, it's generally the fear of missing out is far greater than the fear of whatever it is. For you, it might be the fear of, you know, of not delivering to your, I don't know, to your family, to your kids, you know, feeling like you're letting someone down, or something that's really compelling for you. Tarkan, Turkish music. It's like we're having 2 conversations, isn't it? Yeah, so find that greater fear and replace the fear you're currently feeling with that, to empower you to go, you know what, if I don't do this and get through this fear, I'm going to miss out. So that's more important to me. The rocking chair, deathbed anecdote. I see rocking chair, deathbed's a bit grim, isn't it? Yeah, you know, if you were 80 years old and you're looking back, this thing that you might be thinking right now you should do, would you regret it? And if you do, it's not a should, it's a must. You must do it, okay? Because that's just the last thing that you want to do. The amount of dreams that go to the graveyard is insane. And thirdly, yeah, change your state. Fear is physical. Once it's in your mind, and that is the only place it exists. Remember, the only thing to fear is fear itself. But once it is in your mind, it can become physical. Our body goes into inner turmoil. One way to shift that is to change your state, and that might only be literally big breath, sitting up straight. Just going to change my state. I'm going to get out of that uncertain state where my shoulders are down, and I'm going to feel empowered. I'm going to walk into that casting or whatever job you've got to do, you know, with more certainty, and I'm going to walk in stronger, ready to deliver. So they're my little kind of tips for fear. I've got like dozens more, but it'd take for hours to go through, which is definitely a topic we will cover more as we go along. So it's 10:30, guys. I've been on for half an hour. It's quite a long scope. If you have enjoyed this and you want to kind of, keep joining us, I do this every single night, 10 p.m. People can get part of the Bulletproof Actor Facebook group, which is facebook.com/groups/Bulletproof Actor. Request to join. I will add you to the group. And you can suggest topics that we talk about. There's nothing structured. I normally ask for a topic in the day, and then we talk about it at night. So do that. You can control your mindset by controlling your thoughts. Exactly, Vishal. Thoughts become things. Just think of that, okay? Thoughts become things. So very, very true. Is it just starting? It's not, Nosy Parker. You said it. Is that a joke? Because you always do this at the end. It's not just starting, but there is a replay, and there will always be a replay, so you can watch it straight after, and I also upload it to YouTube as well. Do you play football? Not anymore. Too old for that, unfortunately. Used to play for the school team. Just for the record, guys, my left foot is amazing. Changing your physical state, it is nice. Yeah, no, it is. It's a big empowering thing, your physical state. It's one of the greatest tools that you have for getting over fear. You just change your state, and instantly, you can change literally on a sixpence. You can do a complete 180 and just reverse what you were feeling, and start feeling completely different. So that's it from me, guys. If you enjoyed this, swipe left to right. You can subscribe, you can follow me, and then you'll get notifications every time that I come onto Scope, every night at 10 p.m. UK time. If you're on an Android, you swipe from bottom to top, and you can do the same. Like I say, be part of Bulletproof Actor Facebook group. Thanks for all the hearts, appreciate that. Get to bulletproofactor.com, enter your email address, and then you'll be put on the mailing list. So I will keep you up to date with all of the upcoming developments on Bulletproof Actor. I'm just about to finish writing Unit 4. I've got one more unit to write, Unit 5, and then everything goes into full steam production. I'm so excited, guys. It's become a bit of a beast of a course, but it will change your life. What time is it in Manchester? Lucy, no problem, thank you, and really, really appreciate you spending the time with us tonight. In time in Manchester now is 10:30. It's 32 minutes past 10 in the UK. So thanks for joining us, guys. I'll be back on tomorrow. Until then, get over your fear. Don't let anything hold you back. I'll speak to everybody soon. Gemma, I hope you get me on your show soon. We'll do another interview. That'll be great. I enjoyed it last time. And I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Bye for now.